Welcome back, guys, to the 11th episode of the Gold Stripe podcast. Today we're here with Leyton, who's our special guest. But before we get started, let's get into a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the nice weather you've given us now. We thank you for the opportunities we have here at Trine to just enjoy time with each other in conversation and be able to use this wonderful studio. Keep us safe throughout the rest of the semester. Help us to do well on our exams and to finish strong. In your son's name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Cool.
So, Leyton, introduce yourself, your major, what you do here, sports, all that.
Alrighty. So my name's Leyton Byler. I am a finance major. Tennis is my sport that I chose to play here, and then I also do some videography on the side. So staying busy for sure.
So what was it about Trine that why did you choose Trine?
So I grew up about 15 minutes away. I had heard Trine my whole life, so it wasn't something that I was like, oh no, like I had never heard of it before. So I knew about it. I really liked the finance building in general. I liked the way it felt when I walked in. I liked the feel of the campus. Really liked the idea that I'd be able to come and play tennis here, especially with a group of guys who seemed really, really great and are really, really great. Just kind of fit everything I wanted. I couldn't tell whether I wanted a big school or a small school. And so when I picked Trine, I was a little worried that I would miss some of that big feel atmosphere. But it hasn't, it's been everything that I've wanted. So, we've even gotten some of the big feel stuff and Trine winning some natties here and there. So,
For sure.
Yeah.
So did you know before you committed to Trine that you would have fire alarms going off in the middle of the night? Well, I guess it's at 6 in the morning, so I guess not in the middle of the night.
Absolutely not. I'm not going to lie. I had no, this morning was the first one that I've gotten to experience. I know multiple people have experienced plenty before. This was my first one, and it was brutal. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for you guys, back at home or wherever, we had a fire alarm go off at 6:30 this morning.
This is Sunday. We record these ahead of time. This
Yeah.
is Sunday before the episode comes out.
So,
Yeah.
everyone, stayed up late, whatever, went to bed late, and had to wake up at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Had to stand outside for 30 minutes
Oh, yeah.
and then go to Hershey Hall, which is like our gym rec area, and had to lay there for 30 more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It took them at least an hour and a half for
I
them
don't
to
know.
clear
I don't know
out.
what happened either.
It
Yeah.
was brutal.
There was no smoke, nothing, just the fire alarms.
I heard it
going
was
off.
something with the water main or something.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
what I heard was that it was some water overflow system messed up, and so it caused all the alarms to go off. And I don't know. All I know is I was so out of it.
I'm gonna be
so
honest.
tired.
I was heavily debating not going outside, and then all of a sudden it was like a constant ring.
Yeah, it got to the point where you couldn't not go outside because
yeah.
it was so loud.
I was genuinely PO'd that I could not go back to sleep.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was a guy. He was a football player. He was in the bathroom sleeping on the heater.
I saw.
We
that.
were laughing
I
so
saw that
hard.
story.
I mean,
he was actually zonked.
he was definitely asleep. Well, we woke him up and talked to him for a sec, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm running on 3 hours of sleep, and I'm still drunk right now." Blah blah blah.
Oh my god.
Leaning on the water heater in the bathroom.
Oh my god.
All right.
Was it hot in there?
Yeah, it was pretty warm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I was freezing. And then we got in Clay. So Clay parked his truck in the middle of the U. And so we were in the back, so we had to walk all the way around to get into his truck. And then we drove back to the parking lot behind. And then we saw people going in.
Yeah, these guys snuck in.
I snuck
No,
in.
yo,
Left
he
the rest
snuck
of
in.
us.
Me and Clay.
I'm texting him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm in bed right now, and I'm still laying on Hershey's floor, all PO'd." And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me."
But yeah, so that was the first one we've had in the early. We had one earlier in the year too, but that was just randomly during the day.
Yeah.
So everyone was telling me about that one. I must not have been in the building. 'Cause this was my first one.
It was I don't even know.
It was at night. I
Someone
think,
someone
10.
burnt something in the kitchen that
Yeah.
time, and you could smell it. But this time was very annoying. But then I slept. What time did you wake up? I slept until 11:30.
12. I'm
11:45.
kind of ashamed of it, but yeah.
But yeah. So that was your little snippet of what it's like to be a Trine student.
Yeah, today. Not the best part for sure.
But yeah. So coming back, you could probably include the fire alarm part. So, but like, what's the best and worst parts of Trine, in your opinion?
Gosh, that's a loaded question. I don't know. I really like the people here. That's one thing that like I'll continue. Like I get a lot of questions just in general about like, oh, what, Trine, especially from my family, and extended family, and it's like I just love the people here.
Mm-hmm.
I met a lot of great people here, and, you guys speaking, and so it's like. Just being able to interact with people like that. Like I know you would make friends at a bigger campus and whatnot, but I think the opportunities to make friends here are a lot higher, and that's something I'd kind of harp on. Is it's a tighter group of individuals, especially at Trine, and we only have I don't even know how many kids are on campus, but it's not like a 30,000 like an IU or a bigger Purdue like. So that's what I would say is being able to make friends. But
I would say, we're all athletes here, so. Being a part of that team also really helps with making friends. And with that, you make friends, and then you start to know, your friends' friends. And you wouldn't be able to get that because I'm sure you probably wouldn't be able to play D1.
Oh, God,
None of us could. So
God, no.
It would definitely be tougher at a D1 college, I think, to make those friends.
Like, especially in class. Like you think about like D1, you pretty much go into class, and then you have some clubs and or smaller things outside of it. But it's like being an athlete, like that's where a large portion of my friends are is on the tennis team. And then I've met guys from those tennis guys that I'm now friends with and that I get to see. And then, it's a very like, it feels like a tight community, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like it's a lot harder to like broaden your friend group too. Like at those big schools, like you'll probably have your like clique and that'll probably be it. Like you'll interact with some people in like classroom settings and whatnot, but more likely than not, like that's going to be like the people you interact with most. But like here, like I could probably name a lot of people that like I would interact with. Like we have our friend group, and then we have other people outside of that, and like we interact with so many different people, and like it's a lot more of a well-built community, I would say, instead of like a giant campus of people. So, so that's why I appreciate it like a lot about Trine is like it's in a way it's kind of like high school, just because of like it's the community is there, but it's also big enough that like you don't interact with everybody, I guess, and like you meet new people and whatnot. So
yeah, I'd 100% agree with that. Like I had everyone tell, because like I grew up around here, so everyone was like, oh, you're gonna go to the local university, that kind of thing, and they're harping on like, oh, it's gonna be high school again, and I haven't. It hasn't felt that way. I mean, I've gotten to interact with a lot of people, and then like you said, like I've met plenty of people throughout the year that I didn't meet at the beginning that I'm now friends with, and so. Being able to constantly meet new people and meet new friend groups like that and just kind of broaden yourself within those groups is something that I've really enjoyed here.
Yeah. So Leyton, like he mentioned, he isn't big into videography. He does a lot of video for the basketball team. He's starting to do some more for other teams as well. But what kind of got you into videography?
Yeah, so in high school, actually, so we get offered a radio TV course. So kind of like a communications major in a sense where, you're learning about TV production, TV this, TV that, and like you're running like a switchboard and you're running different cameras and whatnot. So I did a little bit of stuff there. In that class, actually, it was just a elective that I randomly decided to take like the day before classes. It was something that I had to take pretty much to get an elective. Ended up really, really loving it and really, really loving editing and whatnot. And then ended up coming to college, and I kind of let it go. Like I hadn't done much with it. And then actually saw a guy's content consistently. Shout out Lang Media. He's probably not watching this, but
He might be. I have no idea.
I might tell him to watch the episode. But saw his stuff and actually DM'd him and was like, hey, I love your stuff. What's it take to get back into it? And kind of told him how I had done it before. And so we just got to talk, and we had a great conversation. And then next thing you know, I'm showing up to a Trine basketball game with him. He was a Trine alum as well, so he played basketball. So he kind of had an in there. And then I'm filming there, and then next thing you know, the page started, and here we go. So
what was it like being a videographer for a national championship team? Like, how was that experience?
Oh, it was awesome. Like you know how we talked about making friends, right? So those basketball guys, they're all great guys. So when I showed up the first few times to make videos, you almost felt like out of place in a sense because like you've never done it before. You're showing up on and like Giants basketball team. It's not like we're small. Like we've got a lot of people coming to these games in a really, really cool venue, and so you show up and you almost do feel kind of out of place when you're videoing. But then after a few videos and after reaching out to some of the guys, you start to feel more welcomed like that, and then you start to become friends with those guys. So, but yeah, no, that team is great, and the atmosphere is always crazy, especially in the MTI Center. Like the MTI Center is pretty nice. So,
I know I'm not like a videographer, but I did work for the Trine Broadcast Network, and it was funny like going out there with a camera and filming their walkouts.
Oh yeah,
or just a huddle or something like that because you felt so out of place. It feels so awkward to be out there.
Yeah,
it's like you don't belong there.
Well, yeah. I mean, like it's just, especially when you try to get like these really cool cinematic shots. It's like, okay, well you gotta be immersed in it. And so like there were plenty of times that like I'm right next to the huddle. I'm right there in walkouts, like on a knee, like right beneath the guys doing handshakes, these kind of things. And so you do feel a little out of place, but after meeting these guys, and then you have a few guys come up and say hi to you or whatnot, and then you start to hang out with them outside of videography. It's like you start to feel more a part of the team, more welcomed, which definitely makes it easier for sure. But
yeah, for sure. Like I work for the broadcasting team too. James doesn't anymore, but when he did,
wow,
but no, it was a business decision. It was a respectful business decision. But yeah, like I almost feel like a part of the game. Like when I'm like in those big games, like when we had the conference championship game against Hope, and like just being in that atmosphere, and you're right there too. Like it was just so crazy. Like because you feel like you're a part of the game. We're all on the court. Like you're filming the game and stuff. Like I was getting nervous. Like I was shaking.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. I remember coming up to you and telling you like I can't even hold my camera.
It was
still.
crazy.
Like I'm just shaking on the sidelines. But no, being able to. The one thing I really, really love about videography, even more than photography, so to speak, is that like when you capture a moment like that, or when you capture moments like that, it's that's what your job, like that's what you're there to do, is capture those fun moments and then put them into a form that these athletes or these teams have and are able to look back on. And it's like nothing really compares to being in the moment like that, where you're watching and you're videoing something like that, and then you can take it post-production and put something together that really is fun for the team or really is fun for an athlete.
Yeah, for sure.
But
so kind of talk about like one of the, like, do you have a shot in mind, like that year's like your favorite shot that you gotten?
Ooh, a shot in mind that's my favorite. Oh my, probably. There's a one clip. So I'm on the. I guess I'd have to explain it. So you got the basketball court. I'm pretty much right underneath the hoop, and I don't even remember who we were playing. Fred Garland gets a steal, and he's running down the court, and Manny's behind him. And he kind of catches it, makes the guy fall, like breaks his ankles, and then like lofts it up to E, who just hammers it down, like back scratcher. And I'm like, I'm right underneath him, like shaking, trying to catch the whole thing, like praying to God like camera zooms out far enough. But that's probably my favorite shot I've ever gotten. It's just one of those shots that was like in the moment, and then you see both of those guys go nuts and the crowd going insane, and it's like it's something that I put in quite a few of my videos for sure.
So with the videography career, what's like the end goal for you? Do you want to do this for a career? I know you said your major is finance,
right?
But what are you planning on doing with that?
Yeah, I'd love to go into videography, to be honest. It's hard though. It's a really hard career to get into at the professional level. Like that's kind of where I want to be, is at a Division I school or professional level. And it is really hard. You have to have a really good portfolio to get in there. But I am a finance major. And I would say degree matters, but at the end of the day, especially with something like videography and photography, it's mostly portfolio. So like what you've been able to do and who that really get you those higher level jobs. And so kind of the end goal, out of college, like I would love to have a videography position somewhere. And like you have your, parents and everyone else telling you, do things that you love, do things you love. And like, this is something I really enjoy doing. So yeah, I mean, if a career in finance doesn't work out and there's videography there, and I'm definitely taking it for sure.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you're allowed to talk about this, but you work with Notre Dame, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
can you talk about that at all? Or?
I mean, I can talk about some of it.
So you kind of talk about that and how you got that opportunity.
So, the guy that I talked about at the beginning, Lang Media. So through him, I've met a ton of really, really cool videographers, and that's one thing about the community I really like is they're all open to talk. They're all very open to like, talk with you about their work, talk with like how they got there, those kind of things. Like I've reached out to videographers that like shouldn't even remotely respond to me, but I have gotten a response. And so talking with them, and so one of those was Landon, and he works for the Irish Tribune. So I work for a media company that does work for Notre Dame football, pretty much, and that's pretty much what we cover. It's all Notre Dame athletics, but we cover a lot of Notre Dame football. And so kind of met with him and was like, hey, what do I have to do to get to that level, to be able to shoot kind of Division I stuff like this? And he basically said, your work is pretty good. Like, send in an application right now. Give it a try. And so that's what I did. And next thing you know, I'm on the phone with the guy who runs the whole thing, and then voila, you're hired and you're doing work. So.
Right. That's what I appreciate so much about like video, like the field too. Like I want to go into it as well. Like that's kind of where I'm at, is like saving up to get a camera, like starting to work with you too. And just like reaching out to people. Like I've reached out to Lane to like talk to him about some stuff, to reach out to plenty of other people on Instagram and whatnot, just like picking their brains, like how do you kind of get into it, how do you kind of like do all that and stuff, and it's just a cool thing because like nobody's the best at it,
right?
Everybody's like, it's super unique, it's an art.
Well, so that's one thing that I really, really loved is like, you reach out to these guys and you're thinking like, oh, you're never gonna get a response, or like, oh, you're and just like you're in the process right now, so I know you can relate to this and kind of how I was. And it's like when you're like trying to grow like that and trying to learn and do these different things, mentorship is like really, really important. Because like I wouldn't know half the things that I know without Lang and without some of these other guys being like, hey, try this, or hey, I've got this opportunity for you to come shoot and do this content. Here, come try something different. And so the community itself is something that like I didn't even think it was going to be like that. I thought like I'd message these guys and I wouldn't ever get a response. And there are some dudes that like at some big Division I schools that I've reached out to that have responded and then been like, hey, I've got this opportunity coming up. Like for example, last night, so I went to go shoot a boxing and concert event at Pierre's in Fort Wayne, and it's like. The guy that invited me to go do that, he's a guy at IU who does photography for Hoosier Network. And they're just like a Irish Tribune is to Notre Dame. And so he's gotten to shoot at Assembly Hall. He's gotten to shoot a ton of popular artists. He's got like the guys that have those connections and are able to mentor you throughout the process are the ones that will really open you up to the field. And so like, those guys have done that for me. And that's one thing I really, really love about the community in general.
Is there a sport you like doing more than another?
Oh, basketball.
Really?
Basketball, not even a question. I'm a basketball guy. Like I grew up watching IU basketball. Like I played basketball my entire life, and so when a game like that, and like and I guess this will help too, is like I really miss basketball. Like our high school team, we had a lot of fun, and that group was really, really close. And so, like, not having that this year, being able to go film, though, it's almost like, you feel like you're back in it.
Right.
So I'd say basketball.
But so, like we kind of mentioned, you're kind of getting into other sports, too. Yeah. What are you kind of excited about, like, trying to learn how to do in this, like, upcoming year?
Yeah. Oh, gosh. I would say, so here's a very broad answer. But making my videos more dynamic, so making them feel like more immersive when you watch them, it's really, really hard to do because when you just put footage in a editor and you just make it your flat form footage with no effects and nothing crazy, it almost gets kind of boring to watch. And so I would say for me is really like trying to make a video more dynamic. with that said, going to shoot more events, like last night I got to shoot a boxing match for the first time, and like that was absolutely electric. Like there was so much energy behind a boxing match, and I've never done that before. And so being able to see what I do with the footage, and like last night, like we talked about, all of us were up late. Like I was up till like 3 a.m. editing this. So like, I mean, you're stuck kind of in that world. And so that's what I would say, maybe even Notre Dame events. It's like I'm looking to get the opportunity to go shoot some Notre Dame football, which would be absolutely sick.
With that, we're kind of transition into our competition for today. Well, not for today, but for this episode. And yeah, so we'll see if you guys enjoy it on this next episode of the competition segment.
Cool.
Welcome to the game episode, guys. In honor of our guest, Leyton, we had to do something tennis today. So today we're going to do a little soccer tennis. So for those of you that don't know what that is, basically you kick the ball, and the same as tennis rules, except you get 2 bounces on your side, and you got to return it to the other side. So pretty simple game. Should be fun. I'm excited.
Yep. We're going to play best of 3, not like sets, but best of 3 points. So we'll do 15, 30, 40, obviously. And we'll do the best of 3 for that if it has to come to that. But good luck, James.
Best of luck.
Best of man wins.
What do I say? Love? Love. All right.
Love.
Oh, what a hit. Oh, my goodness. I'm that guy. 15 love, boy.
All right. I'm locked in now.
Let's go. Let's go. Oh,
Yep.
shoot.
Yep.
All right. 15 all, 15 all. Yeah, how do you like that?
Oh, James!
Wait, do I got one more?
You can keep it up.
Ah! Wait, did I get that point?
Yeah.
It only bounced one time? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's good, right?
I think so.
I think, okay, 30-15. Good little rally there. All right, 45-15.
No,
Is this
it's
game
40.
Point? Oh, game point. Yeah. How do you like that? I'm in the front of the net now.
Oh! Pretty fancy.
Game point. Yeah.
All right, James took the first one.
What was it?
40 or 40-15, I guess.
Big W.
They don't
Absolutely.
They don't really keep score like that.
Oh, they don't?
It's,
Well.
you're up 1-0.
Okay. Well, I'm still up 1-0.
But now I'm gonna serve.
Domination.
I'm gonna serve, and we're gonna tie it up here. We're gonna go into
Yeah,
the third
right.
set.
there.
All right, well, James won yet again. He's up 3-0.
3-0.
Competitions.
Hey, it's not over.
It's not over. We still got next week, week after. We still got our final
We got the
competition
final week.
segment. So it's still up in the air. But yeah,
You got to pick it up, Caleb.
I know, let people down. But we hope you guys enjoyed this segment of the competition series. We'll see you guys back at the desk.